Sweet. Welcome back. We are at the lockup again, carrying on with the golf. Now, two things. I came here during the week, Wednesday night, and I carried on with some work and I didn't record it. Not because I didn't want to, but because I'm an idiot and I forgot the GoPro at work. So, I'll give you a rundown of what I did. It wasn't any major repairs or anything. None of this is actually major repairs, but basically what I did is replace the oil filter, replace the oil pressure switch for, what's it, 0.35 to 500 and 0.35 to 0.55 bar. The low pressure oil pressure switch, you know. And remove the oil pan. Remove the oil pan, replace the gasket, clean the pan, replace the oil level sensor gasket, and put it back. Now, the interesting thing is, new oil filter is in. That was all pretty straightforward. It's not a difficult job to do. There's the oil pressure switch down there. You just need a 24mm, I call them goosenet, some people call them offset spanners, and you can get in there, loosen it up and put it back on. I can't remember the torque, but all I basically do is I just check where it's mounted and then just turn it back to that point. As far as it goes for the oil pan, because this car's so low, it's tough to see, but as you can see, I've refitted the oil pan there. It looks much better. There's some stuff down there. I gotta do a bit of cleaning up, which I'm gonna do now. But first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put oil in the engine, and then we're gonna start it, run it, check the oil pressure, hook up VCDS, monitor everything, let it warm up, and then probably, if everything's all good from that standpoint, nothing looks funny, because the oil pressure warning was coming on before I started the job, which is why I think they wanted to replace the switch, but we'll see. The other thing that sucked was, I don't know if you can see this, that is silicone sealant. That was around this O-ring for the oil level sensor. So clearly there was a leak and somebody was trying to fix it. They obviously decided to try to fix it, I'm hoping, in a cheap way. When I took the pan off and cleaned all the
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
When I took the oil pan off and cleaned off all the silicone sealer, I didn't see anything that was alarming to me. Like the plastic was cracked or porous, deformed or anything. So I'm hoping that it was just a lazy, cheap attempt by somebody who really shouldn't be working on cars. Because that gasket is like $6, bro. That O-ring seal, that seal is $6. Like it's, if there's no need for you to slap. The sealant was probably more expensive than the gasket anyway. So I'm hoping that there's nothing wrong underneath there. So when we put oil in, it doesn't start leaking. This is the reason why Wednesday night I never actually put oil in it. I just finished up. My boy Josh was here. He was carrying on with a Honda. So I just finished up. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'll deal with this on the weekend when there's more light, because it was like 8 o'clock at night. And it was dark, couldn't really see. And because the car was low, I didn't really want to deal with that. I was kind of tired after working on Audis all day and then working on a VW product. If this garage was at my house, it would have been a different story. I probably would have worked all the way until 12 o'clock at night, because then I just, you know. But there was no need for, there's no rush for the car. So I was like, cool, I've done a bit of work. That leaves me with everything's okay. If everything's okay, that leaves me with the heater core matrix to do, which would be today. So basically what I'm going to do now is we're going to fill up the oil, and then we're going to start it, run it, and see how everything does. And then I need to clean this place up, because this is driving me up the wall. Alright, so she takes 5.7 liters according to Castrol's website, and we're going to be putting some Panerai, I've already showed this. I really rate this oil. Some people don't. You know, oil is a very contested subject. You know, it's like talking about your child's sporting career, you know, or saying, oh, my baby's so beautiful, and everyone else looks at the baby and they're like, yeah, I don't know about that. You see, this is the kind of thing, because I really like castor oil, but I do have a lot of colleagues in the industry that, I'll move that now, that differ. I mean, Penrite, sorry, I really like Penrite oil, but I've got a lot of people who differ in that opinion. Which is normal in this industry, as I've said before. Oil is an extremely contested subject. So we'll start with 5 liters and then we'll check her again. Comes the fun part. Aiming. Okay. Just get it right. Oh, spot on.
I am a surgeon!
Okay, so I had to whip out the snap-on because I'm cheap and I haven't upgraded my VCDS yet, so hopefully we'll make a bit of money from this job and I'll be able to do that. What are you talking about, man? Anyway, yeah, so currently I can't, there's, even on the snap-on, unfortunately, there's no, in the data pit list, there's no actual value for oil pressure. I've got everything else except for oil pressure, but that's okay because the car will tell me if there's an oil pressure issue, and currently it's running fine, no oil pressure issues, no fault codes on the scan tool because it would come up with a fault code for engine oil pressure too low. And she's running smooth, she's roughly at operating temperature now. She's smooth, she's quiet. It's not she's a bit rough on idle, but yeah, it was pretty much like that before I started anyway. So at this current moment in time, I'm not exactly disappointed or unhappy with the way it's running. I would like to look more into timing, just because seeing the exhaust and intake markings on both the actuators and the cover and all the sealant, I'm pretty damn sure somebody's been in here and done some stuff, whether it be in relation to tuning for performance or whatever. But by the look of the car and the state of it and how people have worked on it before, I'm comfortable enough to say that whoever's worked here might have not even done that good of a job. So that can explain why the idle is not so smooth. Generally these EA888s are actually quite smooth when they're idle, even at higher mileage when they get looked after. And this has both the multi-point and the direct injection, so it shouldn't have the soot build up on the intake valves that the earlier gen suffered with. All direct injection engines suffer with, really. But yeah, so I'm not going to let it get hot and the fans kick in because we still need to do the heater core matrix. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut the engine off and I'm going to drain out the coolant. So we'll check and make sure that the no oil leaks on the floor, and all of this shiny stuff you can see here is just residue from where I cleaned it. It needs a bit better clean in some areas, but there is definitely no oil leaking or dripping anywhere, and the engine oil is warm at the moment, so this is good. This confirms that we don't have a leak. Obviously to know for sure we'll have to drive the car, so that'll be the next step. But first, before we even get to driving the car, test driving the car, whatever, we're putting the heater core matrix in. and we're gonna take it from there. So let's get stuck into that. Okay, cool. So the heater core lives under here. So we're gonna strip a few things out. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna get a plastic bag, rubbish bag, and I'm gonna lay it down in here, and I'm gonna use that to pretty much stop any remaining amount of distilled water, because it's mostly just distilled water in there. There may be a little bit of coolant left. I've drained the cooling system already as much as I can from the front. I'm not going to remove the hoses there because it's not needed, or the hoses at the firewall or bulkhead because it's not really needed. There's connections right here, so I'm going to remove this trim, and yeah, when we're back we'll be removing what we need to get in there to do the job. Okay, so I just wanted to show everybody a little trick. If you're ever stuck and you don't have the tools for the MMI to pull it out, just get yourself a really thin Allen wrench. You stick it in to these gaps right here, and you just pull the clip towards the inside. So you're pulling the Allen key or the Allen wrench towards the outside, and that will move that lock that you see there inwards, like so. And when it does that, you just get something to the wedge and pull the infotainment unit out. Sweet. Let's continue.
Money, power, and money, power,
So another rant from me, bro. If you install anything in cars, right, any like external or additional electronics for whatever reason, and you work like this, you don't deserve to work on cars. You actually shouldn't work on cars. This is so lazy, bro. and it's just unneat. And like, if you've ever seen what coiled up wiring does, like this to electronics, and the interference this can cause, especially by CAN lines, bro. Anyway, let me not get, I mean, look at this, bro. What is this, bro? What are you talking about? Who works like this, G? This is the stupidest thing, bro. You get fuses that are designed for this, that you can actually just build your own circuit, you wally. Anyway, that's dumb in my opinion, but there'll be people out there say, oh, it works, what's wrong with that? It's like, no, dude, there's a way to do things, and that ain't it, chief. Anyway, we're gonna now pull these vents out and make our way towards the heater core, which is right there, as you can see, the two pipes, inlet and outlet, and yeah, start stripping further. Bro, you guys could have really taken a bit better care. Look at that, bro. And I haven't, you can see, I haven't even installed this unit in. I took it straight out of the box like this, bro. The box looks fine. You can see the box's condition is fine. It hasn't been manhandled or anything. This is obviously how the unit got delivered from the factory. Look at that, bro. That's madness. Now, if this thing leaks, I guarantee you Volkswagen will say to me, no, you did that while installing it. Well, yeah, you go. I haven't even stripped the unit out or even tried to put the new one in. So this is how your parts come delivered, Volkswagen. Anyway, I've got the video footage, so I can use that as evidence. It doesn't seem to be. It holds pressure when I blow into it, so, you know. So now my whole idea here is that is gonna have to come out, because if I look at this, to get the unit out to about there to remove it, that's what I'm gonna need to do. So this fan unit here is gonna at least have to come out. There's no other way. So let's take it out, put this back. Fan should be pretty easy to come out. That'll be T25s there and there and there. Let's remove this from the resistor, tuck that up behind there, and let's drop the fan out. That'll be a T25, right, or T20. Yeah. enough space. Might be able to get it up. Because I won't be able to drop that box because that's part of the call. So this should be enough. So now my plan. So now with everything considered, I'm going to lay plastic along here to catch coolant if it falls out. Nice. So now we should be able is there a locking pin or something on it? Unclip out. Now we got the Allen wrench or Allen bit. Should be able to get this out. Smaller than a 4. 3. Now we need to do 20 to 20 to 20. Nice. So now the cover should come off. took off most of the water. Alright. This was just this mangle. Oh, this stuff looks like it's been replaced. Low-key, a lot of this stuff looks like, except for the regulator, but this looks like it's been replaced recently. Also no leaks. Well, so before I put the brand new one in, I need to obviously replace the seals, which don't look too bad at all. They feel a bit hard, but I wouldn't say they're bad. The heater core may just look like that because it's been in here so long. So my biggest issue right now is if I can move you like so and you like so, I should be able to get my heater core in nice and easy. These come pre-lubed up with a grease. Nice. So let's just clean this off. Sweet. Just want to put some so that the O-ring doesn't have any harsh surface to mount on. So they come nice and pre-lubed from the factory. This is honestly one of the easiest heater cores I've ever done. Some heater cores I've done are harsh, like on Kias. Oh mate. Okay, so let's be nice and careful now. Looks good to me. Let's put the clips back on, eh? New clamps. Alright, so we've vacuum bled the cooling system. We've removed all the air from it, and so far I don't hear any suction sounds or anything like that. I don't have a pressure tester again, which is not ideal, but I'm banking on the fittings are okay. Currently my vacuum is holding good. I don't see a drop at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start reassembling, gamble on that base, and put the rest of the car back together, engine cover, everything, and then we'll get ready to take it for a drive. So once we take it for a drive, we'll go for a spin, 10-15 kilometers, confirm that everything works, heater core, all that stuff, and then yeah, we should be done with this car, man. Then it can go back to its owner, we can get paid, baby, and then on to the next job, whatever that is. So I'm not going to record me reassembling it. We'll catch up again once everything's back together. And we are back. I wanted to record yesterday, but I had a friend come over and we were just having a chat, and then I didn't get a chance to finish the recording part. We are done, and she is alive. Coolant level is mint, not a single drop of oil. Wow. We do have one problem though, and we'll talk about it while we drive. Besides the key not in range fault, is the oil pressure switch, or oil pressure warning for low oil pressure, comes on intermittently. I suspect that's why the dealership replaced the sensor or the switch. This engine has 3 oil pressure switches, one for low, one for regular, and one for high oil pressure. And yeah, so I suspect that's why they initially quoted on that low pressure oil switch. But my concern with that is that intermittently the light still comes on. I know it's got good oil pressure, and I did check the oil filter when I took it out if there were any metal filings in the oil filter, which would have been a good indicator of, yes, I know the key's not in range, which would have been a good indicator that there's an oil pressure problem and we might have some engine wear. But the oil filter was clean. Cover, I need to put that back on the key, which is a good indicator that that's fine. What was I saying? I can't remember. Anyway, so I don't think I have an oil pressure issue, and as soon as you start driving it goes away, which tells me that as soon as the oil pressure increases, depending on the different type of load of the engine, we're all good. So I need to set the time here. Settings, display, time and date, time source manual. This car doesn't even have navigation, bro. Well, no, it does. It's supposed to. 10:03. Today is the 17th, right? Today is Sunday, yeah. It's the 17th. Yeah, so at the moment, currently, she's driving good. So we'll jump on the motorway. I'm just going to stop and get some coffee. And then we'll jump on the motorway. And we'll take it back to its owner. And start worrying about the next job. I'm suspicious that the one thing I'm worried about, particularly to do with the there's something wrong with one of these cooling temperature sensors as well. This thing's indicating it's at 90 degrees. I've been barely driving it for a few minutes, so there's that. And the heater still hasn't even warmed up. So the other thing that's a concern for me is because of that warning that's coming up. I know with the Golf Rs and these E8 888 2-litre TFSRs, there's a lot of tuning that goes on. Oh, big community that loves to tune these things, and yeah, I'm slightly concerned that maybe that sensor issue may be mapping related. I haven't checked the wiring, I haven't checked anything else, but yeah, I need to upgrade my VCDS because I can't see the actual values. But my concern is that if it's mistaking what the oil pressure should be and flagging a warning even though the oil pressure is fine, because someone tried to remove that parameter or map out of it with regards to oil pressure and regulating oil pressure, that could possibly cause that issue, you know. I also, like I say, I don't like it. This temperature gauge is reading 90 degrees all of a sudden. You know, I know that the heat is just warming up through the vent, so that's not good. But unfortunately, look, the car drives great, runs great, there's no issues there, but at some point we'll have to probably diag it again, look into it a bit further and figure out what's going on here. Yeah, maybe do some more work. I'd like to see what the temperature sensor's doing. I don't like the fact that it's raising so quickly. It's a bit strange, actually, to be honest with you. We know it's a new regulator. Maybe I could adapt the regulator, that might help. Maybe my VCDS to be good for adaptation, but yeah, because now the temperature's going down, so that's telling me that that's something, either the cluster's fooling around or their temperature sensor's not right. But anyway, we'll delve into that more in another time. Right now, let's go drop it off. That's the good and bad thing about doing a job that somebody else has diagnosed. Is on the good side of it, you know, there's the fact of like, well, because I didn't diagnose it, I'm not really worried about if it fixes the car, if it doesn't fix the car, because, you know, it's not like I have to then jump onto the fact of like, okay, I made a bad call, which is fine. If you've made a bad call, you've made a bad call. It happens all the time, dude. Like, sometimes you get things wrong. It's okay. And then the bad side of that is like, what's intended to be a job for a certain length can unintentionally be extended, because then you got to take over now and figure out what the problem is, so it can be, you know, which is fine. You could look at it like, oh yeah, but you're making more money, but you know, that's, yeah, it doesn't always work out that well when you've structured or planned out your day or whatever, you know what I mean? But also doesn't feel that cranky for a Golf R, if that makes sense. well, maybe a pie. Got my coffee. I think with that note, we can end the video here. You know, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Try to load content whenever I can. It's not really my main thing, so there's very large gaps between when I'm uploading videos and it takes me a while to edit as well. But yeah, if you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, look after yourself out there. Peace.